Alrighty, folks, welcome back to another podcast. The first one in quite a while, but only the best guest for you. We thought we would strike back with a real popular one, something that's also very relevant at the moment with Cape Town Sevens around the corner. And as we sit now, today, the squad was announced for, I think it's Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai.
And I'm joined with Siviwe Soyizwapi Shakes.
Yeah.
As he's commonly known, a real 7-star, and a real privilege to be here at SAS. So thanks very much for organising this. I appreciate it. Shakes and I had a bit of a chat. What was it, last week? What a top guy, top human being. So really excited for this chat. Lots to chat about. Shakes, thanks so much for joining me. But I really appreciate it.
Nah, for sure. I think really an honour for me as well, just to be on your podcast. And as we were chatting last week, it was something that I was looking forward to. And I'm glad we could make it happen.
I've paid a lot for him to say that. Squad's been announced today. Yeah. You're in the mix. 30th of November. Obviously don't fly on that day, but Dubai starts. I've heard Dubai is a pretty good time. What are you feeling today? Obviously been announced. What are the feelings? You would have known when.
We found out last week already.
Nice.
Obviously, that's how it works. We find out as a team, and then the media and the public they find out a couple of days. Now it was a week later. But so much energy in the squad. The boys have been through such a tough preseason, and it gets long, and we just want to get going. So lots of excitement, and I think we started building something nicely towards the end of last season. So it's all about that momentum and trying to carry through to the new one.
And do you feel that momentum has come through from obviously the Olympics, and we will get into the Olympics, but has that, obviously you have the hangover of the Olympics, I'm sure, lots of celebrations, but that momentum as a team, has that come through? Can you feel that going into the new series?
Definitely can feel that momentum, and I think more than anything, the clarity of everything within the squad. And personally, I believe that a lot of the dip in performance and not playing as well was due to so much uncertainty within the squad.
Sure.
And to have such clarity now, where we know exactly who's coaching the team, we know exactly who's our captain, we know which guys are in the squad, that gives so much clarity to the guys, and I think coming from Olympics, there's not a lot of new faces, but there are a couple of guys that are coming into the squad, and we're spending so much more time together, and we're growing as a group, a young squad, so that helps a lot.
Nice. And what does that clarity do for you? So obviously speak about, exactly who's what the roles are, but what does that give you which allows you to perform?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you know exactly what's happening, there's no gray area. There's just clarity all around. You know who's supposed to take care of this. You know who you need to go to for certain questions if you do have, and each and every person understands their role and what they need to do within the squad, and that clarity gives you confidence to prepare well. And when you do prepare well, that's the confidence you take onto the field where you thrive.
Sure. And did you feel that building just before the Olympics? Because obviously Olympics was bronze medal, which is incredible. Well done.
Thanks.
I'm sure that sits in at the mantelpiece as you walk in the front door. Like if I had won an Olympic medal, nothing humble about it. It would be all over. But could you feel that momentum and that clarity building just before the Olympics? Is that why you think there was success there?
Yeah, no, you could feel it beforehand, and it wasn't entirely set in stone as it is now, and it took a lot. I mean, we had a lot of guys that also needed to decide if they are signing full on with the team or not. In the squad, there were guys that were signed for 6 months, and small things like that people didn't even know about, But the squad is set from SA Rugby side. There's a set squad. They want a certain number of players in the squad. They know who they want to go forward with. And the past couple of seasons where things were just going so haywire and the performances were not there, we had to just start turning the ship around, and that was a work in progress throughout the season, and I always say like it never looked like the performances were not coming through, and we were going to each tournament and we were not getting the result. But for us, it was still just. There was a vision set, there was a goal set for us to turn the ship around and to be at a certain place as a group and as a squad. The results were not there, but we left that tournament saying to ourselves, boys, that's another step in the right direction. We know exactly what we're looking for in our game. We always say we're chasing for the perfect game, and I think those small little victories that are not a tournament win, those small little wins, they came together, and they definitely helped us going through to the qualifiers in Monaco, and definitely for that bronze in the Olympic Games.
So nice, and I see the smile coming onto your face when you say that.
Oh, it's crazy.
And so we will get to that, but what I want to know and ask is, when you talk about it going haywire, and there's a couple of seasons where the performances weren't great, you as someone who's a little bit more experienced in the side would have experienced that success previously. What was your feeling in that moment? Now these seasons have gone, like, this is now the second season, like, it hasn't gone well. You know what it is to be successful in this BlitzBoks side and have success on the circuit. When you were going through that and the team was going through that, what was your vibe, like your thoughts, your feelings around that?
To be honest with you, Robbie, and I'll be honest with you, you hit a panic. You literally hit a panic because you know things are not going well, things are not supposed to be the way that they're going performance-wise, and I believe that panic also contributes to almost the ship sinking even further, because it doesn't change your character, but you look at things in a different way where you probably wouldn't have looked at it if you are winning. We always talk about it's always lekker to win. The tour is lekker, the flight back from a tournament is
everyone's happy.
Everyone is happy, but going through and being part of a squad when things are not particularly going lekker or going well, you don't change your character and you don't change as a person, but how you answer people, how you talk to people, how you interact, the extra mile that you'll go for your teammate, those things get affected, and that's the things that people don't see, and that's what makes it pretty tough. But it's a learning phase as well. So you do panic, but then you realize, hey, you actually should focus on the goal, and that's what we started looking at, and just turning the ship and ensuring that we keep the main thing regardless of the results. Like, we went to tournaments and we didn't win tournaments, but at the end of the day we're like, this is what we're working towards, and let's just put our heads down and work towards it.
And you not think when that panic sets in, you actually lose a bit of clarity.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, I've been in plenty of interviews where things have gone wrong, especially when the live stuff, for instance, and things go wrong, and then all you can think about is the thing that's gone wrong, and not actually what the next job is. So I can imagine when that panic sets in, you go like, that's all I can think about, but you can't be as clear as you need to be.
Absolutely. You need guys that have been there before, and hats off to our coaches and the management staff who've been there before, and they knew exactly that, hey boys, look, this is where we are as a group. Just consider the moving parts within our dynamic as a group. Our coach left, we have a new coach, we have to work with a new coach.
Sure.
We have new players coming in, we have young guys that don't have a lot of experience. There was COVID in the mix, so there's a lot that happened. So getting that clarity, which you mentioned, and understanding that this is where we are, so we need to work from this. We can't work from 2017, 2018 wins of the performances of that era. We're a new group. We need to find our own identity. We need to start working towards something as this group, and I think that's the journey we're on now.
And that's a whole different podcast on its own, right? Finding identity as a new group, because that previous group, and if you look at it, the guys have come out of the system, like Kwacha, like some real, like double World Cup winners, some real guys have gone into 7 stuff, so it's now to find an identity. And what a way to not start, but what a way to kick it off by winning Olympic bronze, right? Exactly. And I want to get into the Olympics now, so you go to Paris, you get selected.
Yes.
But a journey in itself to get there, like that Paris that bronze medal at the games was one thing, but just before that, I think it was in August, you'd ruptured your Achilles. When did you fly? When did the team fly to Paris?
We flew in July.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that Achilles, that's a what?
So I know I actually confused everyone by saying Achilles because I had an interview with Supersport and I said it was Achilles, but I was so jet-lagged and fatigued from the flight that people got confused about my injury, but it was actually my ACL.
Your ACL?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's a 9-month injury?
9 to 12 months.
9 to 12 months. I want to talk about the day the ACL happens. Then you know. Like, I know a lot of guys know when there's a knee, you sort of have an idea this could be an ACL, which is, and you know the timeline, and you know, obviously, look, I don't think it's a secret when you, just before the Olympics, that's what you're looking forward to.
Absolutely.
When it happens, panic stations?
Panic station.
Panic station.
Panic station. And the thing is, it was a similar time of the year. We were in pre-season and I felt so great. I was ready to hit the season going and hit the season running. And we had practice games here at Makotar where we do our training. And funny enough, Robbie, I walked off the field. Like, the physio came on and I could feel pain because I did hyperextend my knee. But I got up from the ground and I walked off the field.
My goodness.
The coach said, come off. I walked off and I'm like, I'm actually fine. I'll be all right.
Not too much panic.
Not immediately.
No, not immediately.
Not immediately. Yeah, and luckily went for my scans the same day. And the doc at the medic clinic literally just said I must come into the room where he was looking at the scans, and he says, I can see it's off. So my heart sank, and then panic station hit. And as you said, like, you look forward to the Olympics and you know exactly what's coming. Go into the season, at the end of that season, the Olympic Games, and I'm like, okay, that's gone. So, because I counted September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Might stand a chance, but you know, you never know. And particularly within the journey, there was times when I was like, I'm not gonna make it.
How many, I suppose you probably won't know exactly the amount of times, but how often was that feeling of, I'm not going to get there?
I think, I won't know how many times out of the days in total, but there's 3 that stand out. Three situations where I was like, no, it's not going to happen. And it was after a rehabilitation session that I had here at SAS, and gotta give my physio a mention. Nadia Cleanser, such a phenomenal physio and incredible woman that I've always enjoyed working with. And she gave me a session that I think I was kicking off like power work with the knee, and just to get the legs, to give it more power, because the side where I had my operation on, which is my left leg, was significantly weaker than my right leg, which there was no injury and there was no surgery on the side. So after that day, I felt good. It included like ball slams, high pulls, and I think I might have, but I remember that session. And after that day, I was cool. Then I went home, went to bed. When I woke up the next day, and I was making good progress. It was actually going into Christmas break, and by that time, that's September, October, November, off my crutches, can walk. Haven't started running yet, but I'm into my rehab. And the next day, my leg was so painful.
Really?
My knee I couldn't extend my knee. There was so much pain in the knee. And that day, I came into SAS and I was, I limped from the car because I didn't want to waste time and miss a day. So I still came to work.
Goggins. Goggins.
It was a different mentality. And Nadia actually said I must come in so she can have a look at it. And she could see as I walked into the gym that, this guy's broken today. And she actually said, you're not training today, because I can see this is not happening. And I went home and my leg couldn't extend, and very, very painful. And I was like, okay, I might have hurt myself, because with rehab at that stage, Nadia gives you the freedom to train on your own, and I pushed a bit of weight as well. I think there was squats involved as well, so I was squatting heavy, and because I felt good, she had a chat with me and just guided me in terms of the range I need to stay in and all of that. That was the first one. The second one was similar, but it's similar scenarios where I feel like I'm making good progress, and then boom. The way you feel when you can't extend your knee after so many months, you feel like, okay, I'm back to square one. And that was the part where I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. There's no ways I can still make it, because I've lost now 3 months again, and I need to look forward to that. So,
and what's your process there then to get over that? Because obviously that's not an easy thing to get over. I can imagine after not moving your knee for a month, or like being able to, and then you can't one day. What's your process? You say, cool, now the Olympic dream's over. Shakes in his mind's gone, I'm done, I'm not going. You can't think like that forever. How do you get out of that, and how quickly does it take you? Because I'm sure it's different for everyone else.
Yeah, no, definitely different for everyone. And in my case, on that day, like I do my best to, because she reassured me that you actually didn't take a couple of steps back, but it's just the load of the training. That's the reason why that your knee feels the way that it feels.
It's always nice to have when a professional makes you feel at ease. You go, okay.
Absolutely.
You don't go, what's a Google doctor?
Exactly.
I can't move my knee.
Or Instagram.
Always.
So that helps a lot, and she's so experienced. She's dealt with ACLs, and when I actually started my journey, I sat down with Chris Dry, who also had an ACL, and I had a chat with Carl Brown in the beginning, who also had 2 ACLs, and obviously had a meeting and a coffee with Nadia as well, and Johan, who works with Nadia, Joe. All those people, I had a feeling after sitting down with them that they know exactly what they're doing. So after like a chat like that, I just felt so much calm. And an incident like when your knee or your body's not responding, you're like, okay, they know. If she says that you haven't taken, it's just a load, you haven't taken a couple of steps back, you haven't lost any momentum, you don't panic as much. But on that day that you, given that day off, lots of icing, you just try to make sure that you're doing your part just to make sure that you get over that pain or whatever's happening with your knee, and then get back on the horse again. So that was the process, and during those incidents. Sure.
So then you get through it. Eventually, you get selected for the Olympic side, which I'm sure would have been a massive moment for you. Like, incredibly proud. Like, I always find with guys who get selected for a team with something big, it's often what it is for the family, it's so cool for the person as well, but the family is almost as much involved with it as the actual athlete. So chat us through that. Like, what was your feeling there? First person you called?
First person I called was my wife.
Gotta be?
Yeah.
There's only one right answer there.
It was literally my wife, because through all those days, she knew exactly what I was going through. And the first time it happened where my knee, there was just too much load on the injured knee, and she got home and she found me in bed, and I'm like I was just feeling horrible. And when I showed her that I can't even extend it and I can't even literally walk, then she was going through that process with me, and she understood exactly. So there was a lot of conversations that we have had as well between each other, where she made me realize that there's still a goal at hand of the Olympic Games. So she was part of the recovery journey, as well as my mom and my cousins and my siblings as well. But she was there every day. She saw it every day, woke up every day, took the day on together, and told her how I felt on good days and bad days and all of that. So it was almost a thing of, since I'm sharing how the days are going, how the recovery is going, that was my first instinct, just to share that, yes, we hit the goal.
Of course, exactly. And then at the Olympics, so there's obviously you play your games, and what I find with the Olympics is such a big arena with small margins.
Massive.
You miss one tackle, they score.
Yeah.
You can't, like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
It's actually the margins are so small, you can't make any errors, and when you do, you get found out.
You can't. It's just the sevens game itself, but now it's just at a higher level. There's a bigger consequence.
Exactly, exactly. And I suppose, I mean, we can maybe get into this a bit later, but, you know, I'd imagine the worst thing about a sevens game is getting rounded. That would just be the worst thing for me.
Yeah. No, you're right.
some rapid guy just goes around and you're like, oh my gosh. Guys, I promise you, if I was quicker, I would have got him. Like, you can get run over, you know, anyone gets bumped, but I think to get rounded is probably, I'd imagine.
No, it's up there, and it's happened to me. It's happened to a couple of the guys in the squad. And
actually, the group chat or the fines afterwards.
The banter just keeps going around that, and there's probably clips as well. And you know what World Rugby does as well is they just share clips of things happening. And
they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing innocently.
That thing stays there the whole week.
Start getting shared to you as well.
Yeah, no. Shared to you. You need to collaborate on that post.
Oh, no.
Then it ends up on your feed as well. So, yeah.
It's not worth the likes and followers.
No, not at all. But you
report them for exactly. Report them for abuse. And then so third, fourth, the bronze match final whistle goes. What is that? What's going through your mind? Is it relief? Is it like, damn, we've just done something really cool? Is there lots going on? Is there nothing? Is it when's the next beer? Or
Yes, it was, for some reason, like, it was very emotional. But I think if you watch that clip at the end where we go on and score the try, the camera pans to the bench and you can see the emotions that the management is going through. And I believe that it's because of you working towards a goal. You keep knocking and knocking and knocking, and you're coming short. You knock, you come short. Because it started beginning of the season already. You hit Perth. You want to turn things around. You knock. You fall short. And you don't even come. You don't fall short as in you lose the final. You come seventh, you come eighth in the tournament. You're the 13th best team, which is stone lost, and that's never happened to this team, you know. And realizing that, you've turned that page and you haven't arrived, but. Yes, at least we can win something as well.
The belief, it like sparks something, no?
Sparks it. So, but I mean, I felt that immediately when Salvin crossed the try line, even before he gave the ball to Sean. When he crossed the try line, I'm like, we've done it. And because it was the game was so close, and it was whoever scores the try wins. Luckily, we had the ball, and that kickoff was also so close that the ball could have bounced and Australia could have had it.
Yeah.
But we were in good positions to actually retrieve the ball. Played set up a ruck wide, took it on the other side, and I think when he crossed the line, I was like, okay, we did it.
Special moments,
really special.
Would you say those tough seasons were worth that Olympic bronze?
Absolutely, and we could have actually played for silver. We could have played for gold as well. It was that narrow at the margins that you mentioned. But bronze is something, just to medal at the Olympics.
I can say I've never done that. Like, there's only a select few of people, you know, in
it's
the
massive
world.
on its own, absolutely. So it was worth it. And again, I think if you get a bronze medal where you're just carrying on in the season and maybe you're like, okay, one day you'll be lucky and get it, then it's just another tournament, even though it's the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
However, when you intentionally say, let's work towards something big, our main focus is the Olympics, by then, let's see how far we can go and where we are as a group.
Sure.
And to get a reward for all of that. While again, you come short, you fall short. It's special.
Can only imagine the feeling of making your country proud. So it's like, is one thing in making yourself proud, that's obviously an intrinsic, it's a good feeling. Good one thing making your teammates proud, your family proud. But the reality in sport in South Africa is that when you're playing for a national side, you have the opportunity to make your country proud. I can only imagine the feeling that is to be able to do that and then arrive back at OR Tambo and get welcomed and press around and, what was that feeling, especially just like speaking on making your country proud, because what if I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it.
And that's the special thing about being part of a national side. And I said it in 2022 when we won the Commonwealth Games. These are the 13 guys out of the stats are out there. The number of guys that want to put this jersey on. And think of 13. Only 13.
Wow.
You are part of 13 that can make it, and that's the privilege. That's the honor of putting on that Springbok jersey. And people that support the team sacrifice so much, particularly the Sevens game, because our games are like 1 o'clock. 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning while we're playing in other countries. And people are invested in that. And through that tough time, people are openly showing their disappointment in the team. And I can't tell you how many direct messages I received, how many comments on my posts, just general posts on my recovery, and it was negative feedback. And it might not actually be negative, but it was people expressing their disappointment because of how invested they are in the group. And it was tough. But when you make them proud, as you say, and there were also good messages that did come through where people are still showing the support regardless of the situation and how things are going. And I'm not sitting here today and saying, no, things have changed. We won a bronze medal, so we're giving the fans something else. But every single time you put on the jersey, that's the weight that's on your shoulders, the country's support, and you representing South Africa. And unfortunately, fortunately, that's I don't want to call it a burden, but that's what comes with.
What you sign up for, no?
That's what you signed up for.
And like what I find is South African fans are some of the worst in the world in terms of we're the worst winners and the worst losers. When we're winning, we just like
day 1,000 and exactly. Of bingo,
a world champion,
World Cup champion.
And when we lose, the wheels come off. It's when last week, Argentina, the rugby championship. Mani Lebok misses a kick.
And it all piles down on one individual.
The country it's the end of the world, and Mani must never put on a jumper again. And and like you say, that is what you sign up for, right? So as a player, I can imagine it must get frustrating, but also the reality is that's what you sign up for. So, but some of the worst fans in the world, and like it's. Everyone says it as well, but I also love, and when I say worst fans, I'm not saying that we're bad fans.
No, not at all.
It's just
they invested.
Exactly, passionate, invested. Maybe some of the most passionate.
So passionate.
And it is funny to watch. But
look at all those clips in the World Cup of us winning. The clips that are going around that people actually weep, cry because the Springboks have won the World Cup. So very invested and great supporters actually.
It's good. It's good. You feel their pride, but you also feel their disappointment.
A lot.
Exactly. Who was quality on the celebrations afterwards? Surely there were a couple of guys who still in kit or.
Funny enough, I missed out a lot on that. I only heard stories. Because I am very boring when it comes to that stuff. Because I went straight back to the village and I was on my cardboard bed and just went straight to bed with my medal around my neck.
Come on.
And yeah, but I heard guys went out in Paris and enjoyed the night. Yeah, there wasn't like a Damien Willemse story where you achieve a diamond.
Right.
You don't shower, stay in your kit and all of that. No, there wasn't anyone that. But I think Zayn actually, I remember now when we landed back in South Africa, there were days when we still needed to come do like visa stuff and still come to the office and do sort out passport things, admin. And I would see, hey, my boy, he needs some sleep. Yeah? You're enjoying it and it's fine, but you could do with some sleep. Eh? Yeah, but I think Zayn actually enjoyed that.
He would have. He doesn't sound like a Rondebosch boy, but yeah, no, that's a very special moment, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And you know, we want to do a little bit of cross examination or cross platforming. You know, with the 7s and 15s, I need you to select.
Oh yeah.
A 7 side out of 15s players out of the Springbok side.
Yeah, I actually thought about it, and first 3 names.
Yeah.
Are obviously the first. Are the 3 former BlitzBoks that are there.
Yes. Okay.
So you've got Kurtley, you've got Cheslin, and you've got Kwagga.
Yeah.
So my challenge now was, where do I play them? Cheslin was a sweeper here.
So that's scrum off?
That's scrum off.
Yeah.
So I'll chuck him back there.
Yeah, oh
so
my goodness. Cheslin on a 7th field, I don't know. I think that would terrify nations.
No, for sure. He's done it before, and he's terrified a couple of nations while he was here, and he probably would still do it the way that he's playing now.
Sure.
So I'll keep him there, my playmaker. And while Kurt was here, he was a center. And I would probably leave him at center.
Yeah, he's a bit more robust, maybe, you know, like sort of a...
Yeah. Especially now that he's playing 15s at the highest level.
Yeah.
And I think I'll keep him at center. And my forwards, I'm trying to have a bit of a fast pack, but some height as well for my kickoffs and line-out options. So Kanan will be my loose head. Kanan Moody.
Okay, that's nice.
And then Kwagga he was a hooker, so he'll stay at hooker.
Yes.
The challenge was my tight head, and I thought about it. Should I make a forward in 15s, a forward in my 7s team? And I thought maybe not.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, but I'm struggling with that one. Maybe I'll come back to it. So now I'm missing a fly-off and a wing.
Yeah.
I'll put my Pimpy on the wing.
Yes, strong.
For that speed. And my fly half, I'll play Mani. I'll play Mani at fly half. Mani
Jeez, that's dangerous. Cheslin, Mani,
Kurtley, and my pimps. And then I think to keep it interesting, maybe I can actually have a forward from the forwards. Tough one. I think Peter Steff would manage in the 7th game.
You think he's quick enough?
With his engine.
Yeah,
and yeah, I think it'll balance my scrum as well. Kanan is quite tall, but obviously Peter Steff is taller than Kanan. So it'll be Kanan, Kwagga. Yes, that's quite an irregular pack, but I'll go with it just because of their abilities. I'll go Kanan, Kwagga, Peter Steff. I'll go Cheslin, Mani, Kurtley, and my pimps.
Could you not have gone? What about Damien Willemse at tight end? Is he big enough?
That actually works.
Because he's big.
He's big, and his aerial skills are good. He's a fullback.
Yeah.
And I think if I have him up front as well in a 7th game, so that will be the brain trust in my team. Just incredible with my strategic planning and game plan. I'll go with him just to balance out my pack. My pack started looking like a Eddie sign, so I won't drop Peter Steff, but
he's on the bench.
I'll draft in Damien.
Gaza would be a good shout, eh?
Oh, for sure.
Jeez, that's dangerous. What's the What's the craziest skills thing you've seen on a sevens field? Was it Salvin Davids who did that crazy clip that went viral where I think he kept it in with his feet or something? I can't remember the exact clip, but I mean, I guess the question is, what's the craziest thing you've seen, not the craziest thing I've seen, but...
Yes, there's a lot that happens actually on the field.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, last 2 seasons ago, the one Uruguayan player, the ball was bouncing, he kicked it through, it was bouncing, and the other player was chasing him, and if he caught the ball, he would have been probably tackled out as well, out of the field, but he head-butted the ball with his head, like...
Oh, no ways.
He head-butted it, and he couldn't get tackled, and then bought himself a bit more time for him to get to the ball, and then played the support inside. It ended up in a try, actually.
I think I did see that. I think that's insane. Not a knock on either. Play on off the head.
And I mean, it wasn't actually something that a lot of people have seen on a sevens pitch, and it just worked out, and it gave you a lesson on your rules as well, your law book. So I think that was pretty interesting, and I think I'll answer you as we chat on if something comes up. But there's so much more. I know. I'm just not thinking hard enough.
Who's one guy currently in the mix? Maybe of the guys who got selected for now the squad announcement today that you think could successfully transition into 15s?
Yes, I think most of the guys actually. I think Zayn would be
There's Zayn as we speak, walking
talking
past.
about him, mentioned his name and he walks past. I think he'd make he's a loose head in 15s, and I mean a loose flanker. A Lucy is a flanker, and I think it really it'd still do well there. It'll be like what Rocky is doing there with
Northampton.
Copy and paste.
Yeah, exactly.
I think sweepers, Salvin is just his rugby IQ and his game sense, like it almost feels like every bounce of he knows exactly when it's gonna bounce and when he should add more speed to get to it or not, but everything turns out on the right side for him.
He's got that like flow, everything's just like seamless
and so effortlessly. So I think it definitely make it. Fullback, fly off, he definitely got the skill set. But basically I think most of the guys, and funny enough, some of the guys playing in our team in 15s, they played in weird positions, but in 7s they're playing in different positions.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you an example with Impy. In 7s he was a scrum half, but he's a forward now. In 15s he was a scrum half. He's a forward now.
Impy was a scrum half at 15.
He was a scrum half in 15s. Now he needs to truck that ball up and
very different roles.
Team,
Very different roles.
Yeah. So.
We speak about 15s. You were at the Kings.
Yeah.
And you're Dale boy, and I know we maybe should have started with this, but I think we sort of briefly chat about it, and we spoke about it when we met a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That Eastern Cape region is an absolute factory. Can you give us, if you can, 4 or 5 sentences of why you think that is? Why is that side of the world producing mega stars of rugby?
I actually have no idea, but I think it's just a blessing, it's just a blessing. But I think rugby in the schools is actually so massive. That's one thing I know.
Huge.
Like I remember when I moved from Maclear, which is also in the Eastern Cape, but it's not a rugby school, not renowned for their rugby. But when I moved to Dale, boarding school and rugby school, I remember clearly how I experienced and that's how I actually got into rugby properly.
Yeah.
It's because I went to Dale.
Yeah.
And I always say it tongue in cheek that it's almost like a subject. Rugby is like a subject.
It's unofficial subject at a boys' school.
Unofficial. And I think that love, that passion for the game, and it's so contagious. Even if you trying out the sport, like you'll end up falling in love with it. I think because of that love and that passion, and to add on to that, the rivalries between the schools. I know different regions is the same, but yeah. And I think lastly on the Eastern Cape thing, the other thing I believe, there's not a lot of, the schools are big, the rugby is big,
Yeah.
but there's bigger in the southern suburbs, in up north in Gauteng. So the fact that that region is not exposed as much to resources and certain opportunities, that there's a big hunger just to try and get there, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
to get more and to be exposed more and get to a different platform and a different level.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's my 5 cents when it comes to that.
And the latest guy sort of coming out of Dale's Fussy, isn't he?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, and
World class.
world class. You should check like the old Dalian Union, the WhatsApp groups. Like every week he's on there, and proud of him, man. Like even didn't know him while I was still at Dale, but the transition that he has made and just following his career, coming out of school and going professional, like the mindset change that he's applied to his game, and just the seeing the growth and maturity that he's gone through is just, it makes you proud more than.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Proud to be a Dalian.
And he also didn't have the easiest run. You know, he got selected, then dropped, fell out of favour. Now, probably number one first choice fullback in the country.
Yeah.
Which is insane, and nice for Dale.
For sure. Any day. We'll take it.
Exactly.
As I told you, like on WhatsApp, they boasting about my boy.
It's too good. That's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about.
100%.
That's what it's about. But Shakes, thanks so much for coming on, bro.
Yeah,
I really
sure.
appreciate it. It's been such good fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at Cape Town.
Looking forward to that.
Let's chat about that before we close off. Cape Town Sevens. I tried to do a little thing with Ilona Ma.
Yeah.
And she replied actually and said she's not going to be there, but it's her favourite
She
stop.
loves it, yeah.
What makes Cape Town so good? Because it genuinely is by far one of the highlights of the year in Cape Town. And you talk about December.
Yeah.
You think Cape Town Sevens, that stadium, Oaks dressing up.
We mentioned it. It's our supporters.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's our supporters. Our supporters buy the Cape Town Sevens tickets and sell them out in 48 hours.
Yeah.
That is the type of people that we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere that you feel at the stadium is because of them. It's you out there at any other stop around the world, it goes mad when there's excitement, when there's a skill, a trick, or whatever that happens on the field. But in South Africa, they go mal. They go crazy.
Eh?
The atmosphere is just electric, and I believe that's why Cape Town is one of the best stops. And for us as a team, we have our families, our friends in the crowd. Everyone's going mal, but it's probably
someone's up there.
You know what I mean? Someone
Yeah.
that I know, my brother, my cousin, my friend, because you already just had a chat to them about, okay, good luck for the game, and they're sitting there, they're watching, and it's just special, amazing.
And when you walk on or run onto the field, they're there.
Yeah,
like
you
how
do.
cool is that?
It's amazing. I remember the first time my family was there in the stands. I went to sit to them, and I knew exactly where they were sitting, and I said, I'll see you at the end of the day. And you hear the stories after the tournament as well, which just inspire you just to keep playing for them like you always do. But knowing that they're in the crowd, they're right there watching you, because they don't get that opportunity to fly to Vegas or to wherever.
It's not like playing URC where you're at home 50% of the games. There's one time of the year where realistically South Africans get to watch the BlitzBoks, which I think is why it's maybe so special as well, because
100%.
there's literally one time, 2 days of the year you can come, and in Cape Town during December,
Yeah.
the start of December. So Oak's bank accounts are also not they're not thin either. So that weekend's big.
It's clever. It's clever.
Yeah,
the
very.
timing is
Spot
it hit
on.
the sweet spot. And I must say, I'm actually happy it's a 2-day tournament, because when it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, people are still working on the Friday. They only catch the games in the evening or just decide not to go.
Yeah.
And then they say, I might as well go for the finals day. And then they only go for one day. So this year, 7th and the 8th of December, 2 days.
Gotta be there.
In and out. Have to be there.
You gotta be there. You don't want to miss the biggest party in Cape Town.
Oh, never.
Shakes is gonna be there, Jolene. Good luck for Dubai, my brother.
Thanks a lot.
Hope you guys smash it, and I'll see you in Cape Town.
What a
Thank
man.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
Cheers,
Shot.
bro.
Alrighty.